Good morning. It's Monday morning and I'm gonna see if I can take this lady on a nice long walk. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she's too nervous. So let's see. So we didn't get too far, but we got further than we usually go. A few people were asking me about this leash. It's an anti-pull leash because Effie is really a pulling type of dog, especially when she's nervous. And she's nervous a lot. You can even see from the way she's walking. She's not doing too bad, like her tail's looking pretty good. But yeah, sometimes she just walks totally sideways because she's just trying to see what's happening all around her. Back at my desk, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of work, but I actually have a Zoom meeting with another behaviorist for Effie. I don't know how much you guys want to know about this journey, but I've had Effie for almost 11 months and she's still incredibly nervous, and I've probably seen maybe 5 behaviorists about it, just because like she's making a lot of progress. Don't get me wrong, she's made a lot of progress, but for instance, she's still very terrified of new people. She can't walk down a street with you know, new people on it, so it makes things really difficult, and a few other like behavioral things that we just need to like get her over, because it's not nice for her to, you know, I take her outside for a walk and she sees a stranger and starts trembling and shaking and is terrified and running all over the place. So gonna see another person today, so I'm excited. I've been really excited to see this person because he's come really highly recommended, so hopefully that's gonna be good. So doing that, and then it's kind of an Effie day today because at 5 o'clock she has to go to the vet to get a little booster shot. It's nothing serious, it's just like the usual kind of booster shot. So today's a bit of an Effie day, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of work in between. Story of my life right here. Oh, sweet girl. It's okay. We love you. Right, so I just did my Zoom call and then we actually met up outside because he wanted to see little Effie and see how she was doing and assess her. So yes, I mean, it's 2 o'clock now. The appointment was from 10 in the morning until 1:30, so it was very in-depth. Oh man, there's so many things I could talk about, but basically I need to buy her a little coat that says nervous. And there's lots of other things that we're gonna do to work with her, so I'm really excited. He seems to have a lot of hope for her and I have a lot of hope for her. It's just getting there. So that was a positive experience, and now I'm gonna try to work for a couple hours before I then have to try to get her over to the vet appointment. Usually it's not so focused on Effie, but I always knew today was like Effie day. So should be interesting to see her getting all the way over to the vets. Okay, so I've moved from my office to my bed, which goes against everything I've ever said in my how to work from home video, because as soon as you work from bed, all you want to do is take a nap. But I got my little setup here and it's actually working out perfectly. I'm currently trying to figure out if I can get a parking permit. Well, I know I can get a parking permit, but I'm trying to get a parking permit because I want to get a car. This is just something that's just, it's one of those adult things that's like, I just want to have the car. I don't want to have to go like shopping for a car and blah, 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 and figuring out these permits. And also in London, there's a congestion charge. So when you go on certain streets, like busy areas, from 7 in the morning until 10 at night, you have to pay £15 just to drive on those streets. And I live in a congestion zone ish. I basically have to go down this one road to get a parking spot. So every single time I get in the car, basically, I have to pay £15. So I'm just like weighing the pros and cons here. But basically the behaviorist said it's so important that I take Effie to the countryside because it's basically a way for her to decompress, and she loves it. She loves it in the country and she loves being outside. So, I mean, I don't need a car. I never drive. I've had cars in the UK. Obviously, you guys will remember that I've had cars in the UK, but for my own self, I don't need it. But she's just too scared to take public transportation, and also it's just really hard to get places sometimes. Hello, little missus. Are we gonna get you a car? She's like, yeah, I'd like a car. Are you a little princess? And plus it's good for me too to get outside and get into nature on the weekends and stuff, so I'm actually really looking forward to it. I don't know what kind of car I want to get. I'm going between, should I spend a little more money and get a nice car, or should I just get a cheap car? But then I'm like, do I really want to deal with it breaking down? But also, like, I'm parking my car on the street, and you know, is it gonna get broken into? And these are the type of thoughts that you have when you are an old person like me thinking about getting a car. We're gonna go to the beach, we're gonna go to the forest. But you stop kissing so much. I love you. I love you so much. I'm gonna get a car and spend a lot of money. I want to get an electric car. I would love to have an electric car, but because I have to park the car on the street, there are no like ports near me, and there is a parking garage. I know you guys probably do not care about this, but there is a parking garage. You can look at Effie while I say it. There is a parking garage in my building, but there are no spaces left, and I can't rent one, and I can't buy one because nobody wants to give them up. So that's where we're at. So I'm thinking this weekend I might try to go look for a car, but all right, we had a few little incidents, but we are halfway there now. We're only gonna be about 10 minutes late. So for instance, taking her to the vet, which should be like a 10-15 minute walk, is sometimes an hour because she gets so nervous. It's kind of hard to explain because when she's having a crisis, I don't want to like pull out my vlog camera. But yeah, poor little sweetie. This is actually, hey, this is the first time I've been to a yoga class since COVID. And I just really need this. so I'm bringing my own mat. I think yoga is such an interesting tool for me to use as sort of like checking in on myself. And this particular class was just very difficult for me physically and mentally and spiritually. I just felt very disconnected from all aspects of myself, which is hard. And I think as well, you know, it just made me realize how much I'm not taking care of myself. You know, I've shared with you guys many times before my struggles with anxiety, depression, blah, 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 you name it. Besides that, it's like I know what things I need to do in order to maintain a balance, and for whatever reason I'm up and down. I mean, because life, like, it's, everybody does this. It's like I let certain things go, or I push myself too hard in certain aspects of my life and the balance gets thrown off, and now is really one of those times for me. I'm actually not on any medication right now. I'm trying to, I don't want to say push through it, because I'm not trying to push through it, and I do think there's definitely a place for medication, and I've definitely used it, but for right now I'm trying to really focus on different methods for me right now. But I will say that, like, I don't want to say I'm on the brink, because I'm not on the brink. I've been on the brink, and I'm not there, but I can feel like I'm edging towards the brink, and I think that right there in itself is a little win, because I've done a lot of work over the past, like, basically 10 years, really trying to understand and hear myself when I'm teetering a little too close to the edge. So I've actually picked up on it pretty quickly, but you know, certain things, like I'm not eating right. I'm eating garbage all the time, like stuffing my face, binge eating from stress, and then other days like not eating for hours on end. Hours on end. But you know, sometimes I'll just go like all day long and not eat. Like my eating patterns, for instance, are very unhealthy. Not to say what I'm eating is necessarily unhealthy, although it is, but just the way I'm eating is not right for me. And also just, you know, not working out, working too many hours behind a computer, being alone a lot. Like, I know that it's COVID times, obviously, but just like, that's hard for me. And then also all of the stress with this little creature who I obviously love so much and wouldn't trade her for the world, but that's another struggle that I don't really share a lot with you guys, as far as like the day in, day out kind of stuff that Effie and I go through. I've had Effie for 11 months, I told you guys about this already, but I think it's like to see multiple behaviorists and have them all say she's one of the most nervous, difficult dogs they've ever seen. It's like, it's hard, and it is just me. Like, I don't have somebody who I live with that I can say, hey, can you take Effie out right now? Like, I don't want to cry. God, it's literally Vlogtober-ish day 2 and I'm already like gonna cry. So typical. But you know, I don't feel like I need to share this stuff with you guys, but I'm sharing it for the people who it will resonate with. You know, I'm not asking for pity. I'm not. I'm just trying to share my experience. But I guess what I'm just trying to say is, like, life is hard, and especially with influencers or whatever you want to call people, it's not all shown. Just know that that feeling of being overwhelmed is so universal, and no matter what those things are, like, we all go through feelings and patches and waves of feeling just like so overwhelmed with work, personal, whatever. You know, it is what it is. It's life, especially now during these unprecedented times. These times are real unprecedented, and it's crazy. So when I say I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not talking about skincare, but I did just take a shower and I did a face mask, and it's the Fresh Youth Preserve face mask. It's really good, I really like it. Also, my eczema all over my body has like flared up. Like, I have patches of eczema on my body where I did not know patches of eczema could be. This is like the only thing that's scratching the surface, no pun intended. It's the Galenay body milk. I love Galenay. It's a probiotic skincare brand, great for eczema. But anyway, like, you know, that's a trigger for me. It's kind of a vicious cycle because I get stressed when I see eczema on my body, and I get that usually when I'm stressed, and it's just, it feeds itself. So I think this was a very long-winded way of saying that when I was in yoga today crying, I realized I wasn't necessarily crying because I was so stressed. I was actually getting emotional with myself because I was being so hard on myself. Oh Lord. I've actually been in therapy, just like talking about things like inner critic and stuff like that, but just like really paying attention to the voices inside my head. Like, just like when I was in yoga, I was just thinking like, why have you been so lazy and not been working out more? Like, you have plenty of time to do that. You could wake up an extra hour earlier and do that. Like, you can't hold this pose like you used to, or whatever, like certain things, and just like being so mean to myself. And like, especially like with Effie, it's like, you could have done more, like, to make her better by now, and you know, whatever. It's just, there are a lot of things that we say to ourselves that are very unnecessary, and they don't help the situation, and it's literally just me being mean to me. Nobody else hears it. I'm literally bullying myself. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but stop. I mean, or at least start recognizing it. That's what I'm trying to do, is just start recognizing it. And then also it like makes me so sad that I'm mean to myself, so that I'm mean to myself even further, and it's like, ugh. I'm just sharing this for anyone who needs to hear it, and sending love. Also, when I was at the vet's today getting Effie's blood taken, by the way, her bloods are normal. Yes. I saw a father and son bring their dog in. Oh God. By the way, I'm getting my period tomorrow. But I would have cried at this anyway, and he was a beautiful dog, and they were bringing him in to put him down. It's not even my dog, but I just felt for them so much because, you know, losing Reggie was the hardest thing, and I get so many emails from you guys about the loss of a pet, and it's so real and it is so painful. It is so hard, and I can't even reply to all those emails, but this is just like my message to people saying that, like, I acknowledge you and I see you, and it is so hard. And I just wanted to like hug this random guy and his son and the dog, and I just, you know, I'm absorbing somebody else's pain right now, but it just reminded me of like the love that we hold for these dogs and our animals and our pets, their family. And look at you, little one. Hello, hello. And as hard as this journey with Effie has been, and trust me when I say it's been hard, it's been way harder than I ever thought it would be, for so many reasons, but you know, I wouldn't trade it. Anyway, the world needs more love, and I don't know if what I just did is achieving that, or if I'm just crying, or what. But I better take this face mask off before I have no skin left. Hang on. Oh Lord. I'm gonna try this Votary Intense Overnight Mask, Rose Hip and Hyaluronic. Looks really nice. I just rinsed that off, and I really need a hydration boost because now that I'm 30, I do not bounce back the same way I used to in any capacity of the word. I thought it was a joke. I thought when people said you turn 30 and it's all downhill from there, I thought it was a joke. It's not a joke. It's a half joke. I feel better than ever in some ways, and in some other ways I'm like, what the Effie is going on? By the way, that's like an inside joke between some friends and I. Instead of saying the F word, we always just say Effie, and it's like a way that helps me cope with the stress of my dog and my life. So even like if Effie's being crazy, I can be like, this dog is Effie crazy. Anyway, I'm just gonna like, I don't know if I should try to rub this in fully. Maybe I put on too much, but you know what? Never too much hydration. I'll put it on my lips too. I guess the last thing I'll say, yes, you wanna lick my robe? The last thing I think I'll say is just that I feel like I've been a little distant from the YouTube channel and stuff for a while now, and you know, I have been, and I think like the past couple of years I've really learned the importance of boundaries, blah blah blah, but also, you know, I want to reconnect. I want to reconnect with you. I want to be open about things that I'm experiencing, and I feel like I'm approaching YouTube and stuff with a different kind of lens than I ever have been before. I hope Vlogtober is gonna be good. I don't know, I just want to really let you know how it really do be in my life. So, but without kind of compromising my own boundaries and my own mental health. So I hope you can support me on that. Mrs., I know you want to lick this mask, but you've already had your dinner. Alright, I just made a cup of tea. I always make a cup of herbal tea before bed. By the way, this robe is from H&M. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever like chilled in. I love it so much. I love it. So I don't know if it's still in stock, but I will try to link it. But anyway, my tea has a fortune, and I will leave you with the fortune. It says, dignity and tranquility last forever, which I feel like is quite fitting. All right. God. Say goodnight. She's like, see you guys later. Bye.